Circuit de Catalunya on the outskirts of Barcelona, Spain, brings us to round 5 of the Excite Racing League and the opening leg of the European section of the season. A track that's predominantly used for testing, so many drivers know it's inside out like the back of their hands. Let's take a closer look at the track then. On the opening straight, you've got a DRS zone that goes down to a downhill and rather tighter than you expect corner, but it's very heavily cambered. So if you get in the right line there, you can carry a lot of speed through the chicanes that follow. It is very much an overtaking spot in the race, particularly with the DRS, but it is a matter of being highly committed, as you do have to go offline to the inside, where there's a lot of rubber that you can pick up, and that will easily throw you into the gravel. As we move further into the lap, after turn 4 and turn 5, you've got a pairing of hairpins here, and it's very easy at turn 5 in particular to put yourself too wide. You've got a lovely little bit of AstroTurf that invites you to use as much power as you like, but then you'll find yourself at the same time touching that gravel and either losing a lot of pace or worse, spinning the car. You've got to be very, very careful. Now through turn 8, you're into the very long DRS straight, the second one of the lap, and then you're into this very annoying and deceiving hairpin. It looks a lot more shallow than it appears on the camera when you're on the map, so you've got to be very careful and precise, and if you do find yourself going over onto the AstroTurf on the right, the auto brake will trigger. Be very wary of that. At the end of the lap, we also have this very, very tight chicane. Now the curbs on the inside of both corners are very, very high, and they will unsettle the car and spin you around, so you've got to be very careful. And onto the final straight, a blast of curves, and that's a lap of the Catalunya track. Morgan Eden viewers, we are live here at Catalunya in Spain, Barcelona, for the 5th round of the Excite Racing League Formula 1 division. I'm Pete Markham for the box. I'm being joined by Dan Fisk here in qualifying. Good evening to you, mate. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks Pete. I'm really looking forward to tonight. Look at the championship table here. You've got Mr. Ice Cold Andy, 52 points, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Robert just behind it. It's so close. Last week, only 8 or 9 tenths covered the cooler drivers who qualified, and this week proves to be, I think, the same thing. Because the quick drivers haven't done enough practice, and the slower ones have, and I think it's all going to bunch up.
Indeed. Now, in the meantime, we'll go on to the track. I'm on board with Max Jumbo at the moment in the lead Force India on track. He's currently going around for turn 5 and on his way to the chicane on the prime tyres here. Of course, tyres this weekend are medium and hard compounds due to the high downforce, high tyre wear nature. Down onto the DRS straight now, flat straight open, straight away from Jumbo. Going towards the end of sector 2 on 52 seconds. Seems pretty quick to me. Keen on the inside clipping as which has always got on 4 wheels off on the outside. That will slow him down, as covered in the track guide. And now towards sector 3, where since 2006 it's gone into a chicane rather than a fast sweeping corner. And now we're into the difficult corners of 14 and 15 here. Keep respecting those curves very well, Jumbo. Getting on the gas at a 115 just around the corner. This looks pretty fast to me. Going on to the final rush. I'm clear of lost connection, and he's gone at 120.1. That seems pretty quick.
Decent lap. I think you'll see a lot quicker. I'm on board with Emu right now. Try and get Smith in if you can. I'm on board with Emu, as I said, and he's now using curves around the final corner. This is a quick lap. Run a little bit deep, but that's it. 19.1 on the primes. Flying.
Well, that's more like, that's really fast.
LGS has done a 18.9 on the options.
Well, 2 tenths difference between the compounds. You know it's not going to be like that in the race. So, meanwhile, XRL Touchly, he's gone to P3 on a 119.7 on the prime tyres. So he's got some pace there. Let's try and cycle back through the field so we're not covered as yet. Danny Pearce is on the lap. He's on the prime tyres. Just going through turn 5 now. Use as much of the AstroTurf as he's allowed to on the outside to scrub a little extra speed through the car. And then through turn 6, has always gone wide on the entry.
Yeah,
to the
right,
there.
really
That's
wide.
really thrown it wide.
As I was going to mention earlier, we're running on Channel 2 as well. Swishbone is going to be doing a Channel 2 run, so if he's talking about different things, because that's what he's got on his screen, so we're going to have 2 different views as we are trying to do more and more often now.
And of course this isn't simulcast, so you can watch that live right now. If you're already on, hi to all of you. And again, we do also have the option for you all to give your comments on the stream. We'll do what we can to get through them and provide our comments as Danny Pearce peels into the pits. Not going for a second lap. Now Lewis Hamilton's on the prime option tyres. He's just gone around the 1 minute mark through turns 12. Again, use as much of the road off as possible, coming down towards this tricky double chicane here, trying to respect those curves very well, but clip the inside one, that would have rubbed a bit of speed off the car. Oh, he's boxed straight away.
That's really odd, he just dived in last minute sort of thing, didn't he?
Robbo's gone on a very slow warm-up lap here. He's just split the beams on a 1:35. Now, unless he's ghosting, that's a very, very slow lap, and he's not going fast on the pit straight either. At least that's what I've got on my screen.
Yeah, same for me. I think it is just a problem with the tyre wear around here. Maybe he's just putting a lap, because I know some others won't.
Well, Conor Rice is going for a lap now. He's on the option tyres. He's on a 1:20.4. Maybe he picked up some traffic there, because that's quite slow. His teammate Robbo's just going through turn 4 now on the options. He's showing P8. And again, yeah, lap times have not improved.
He's backed off. F1 Nigel's on that lap. There's all that sort of a quiet lull in the action where everyone's just pitted after their first runs, and I think they may be a bit quicker there in the gap between runs because the lap's quite short and people don't really want to do one lap around here. The tyre wear is quite bad.
Yeah, Iceland has gone fourth on a 1:20.5 on the prime tyre, so he is looking for a bit more pace as well, trying to get what he can out of the car.
Here's Ice Cold Andy again, he's improving, that's for sure. 19-1.
That's more like it from Ice
Cold
Andy.
The gap is nothing between him and Evu. 300ths, sorry.
F1 Nige, he's still on his out lap at the moment, only just starting the part of sector 3. He's quite some distance away from the line at the moment. Just trying to see if there's anyone else who's on a new lap at this point. I don't think they are. I think Nige is the closest. Yeah, LGS has gone faster on a 1:18.9. Bless you.
Thank you.
And in the meantime, F1 Nige just gone through the final corner onto a lap now, deployed all the curves, hit the DRS and over the line. On the prime tyres of the Mercedes, obviously conscious of the tyre wear, though I have heard murmurings, he's been struggling this weekend, so who knows? It might be a different change in the order here.
I think the struggling might be correct. His first practice was at 6:25. So.
Wow, that's leaving it very, very late indeed. F1 Nige coming on to turn 4. Getting onto the inside. Oh, he's got a little understeer there, gone very, very wide. Managed to pick it up on the karting line, so he may have saved some speed there, but he doesn't seem very comfortable as he got into turn 5, pushing onto the curve very respectfully there, respecting the track limits in towards 5 and 6 now on the uphill chicane. Always drifted off, very nearly clattered that inside sleeping policeman. He's just keeping the tracks there, boosting as much of the limit as possible. DRS flap open, down towards the end of sector 2 now. Braked a little early there, and managed to go a bit wide on the exit. This is not impressive from F1 Nige. Bit of a scruffy lap, this.
I think you'll still be impressed by the lap time, though. It's not going to be a slow lap.
He keeps on bouncing the car on my screen. He's missed the apex by quite some way there, and on the way to the inside chicane, he's cut away from the inside sleeping policeman. Good strategy, because those wheels settled the car. No curves for the final portion. This is going to be a 1:19.5.
Not bad, but it's not the pace.
Not too bad.
It's not at that level, but it's quick. Sean signing in for the night, saying hi. Hi, Sean.
Indeed. Meanwhile, XRL was too late. He's got on a second lap, a 1:19.4 on the primes. He's found an extra 10.
So now I know he's been complaining about not liking the Sauber, but 4th place on a 19.4. That's a solid lap.
Well, in the meantime, his teammate Danny Pierce is just going through turn 3 on his next lap. He's stuck to the prime tyres. Everyone's evidently not trusting the tyre wear here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Going around turn 4, very long, exhilarating corner. And now to the downhill hairpin 5, quite a tricky corner this. Well, he's got very well on the inside. Oh, and he's backed off and got out of the way.
Jambo's gone ahead of Nige by just under half a tenth.
The Rice Paddy game is starting on channel 2, saying hi to me. Good evening to you, Rice Paddy. Nice to hear from you.
Sean saying the F1 pace is not as quick as what he expected. Looking at it, no. LGS is quick. We know what some of the guys from GP2 can do. They could easily go into here right now and put it on pole.
Well, it certainly was like that at Bahrain last week, so who knows? Maybe we're in for the same kind of thing this week. Now, in the meantime, Jambo's on a second lap. Gone through turn 6 and 7, looking slightly off the pace though.
Well, I was on board with XRL Too Much Elite actually in 5th. Oh no, and he dives into the pits. But as I was about to mention, 6.5 tenths is the gap between the top 7 cars, I think.
That's very, very close, especially over a tyre wearing a track like this. If you push a couple of sectors too early, you can find yourself massively vulnerable later in the stint. As Conor Rice goes into turn 5, uses as much of the curb as he's allowed to without going off the track, and into the chicanes of 6 and 7, staying away from the inside sleeping policeman. Very respectful driving, coming into turn 8 now, flat out round there, into the DRS zone now. Conor Rice on the option tyres, so he should go a little quicker than his time here, into the tricky turn 10. Ooh, got a little over the inside there, but got away with it. Into the slightly pretty much flat corner, he's whacked off through turn 12. Patience required through this turn, it understeers all the way around. Into 13 and 14 before the chicane now. Keeping as close to the curve, he's bounced off a bit on the inside and he's backed off completely.
So I think XRL Lightning's on one of his fastest laps. He's on his fast lap now. His first one, he's on the option tyres, topping out at 202, 203. Crikey, I wouldn't go that high.
That's very good for the DRS in the race. If he gets it right, that could be very, very good strategy. Into turn 3, and that XRL Lightning pushing as close to that green ribbon as much as possible. Into turn 4, the long sweeping corner, modelled off for so many corners around the world. He's managed to get that pretty beautifully through that. Downhill to turn 5, down a few gauges, get on the gearbox. As he pushes as close to the outside curb as he dares, may have rode it a bit too long there, possibly scrubbed a few Ks off his speed. Oh, and he's gone right over the inside and the outside there. That was not a good line at all. Potentially gaining an illegal advantage, but also getting junk on the tyres.
Not a good lap, if I'm honest. He's just got...
Very scruffy. He's gone very wide at that lap. And we've lost XI Robbo. I'll try and get him back in quickly. So this is one of the things we had last week, viewers, where the connections and a lot of the people on track, it was hard to really know where people were, as we saw from the GP2 race. So we'll do what we can to get as much of the action called as possible, but unfortunately, with the connections as they are, we may be calling the wrong details, I'm afraid.
Well, Smithy stayed in since he's got back, so hopefully it's just a one-off thing for Robbo and we can get him back in.
I'm trying now, I'm just sort of getting hold of him now on my list.
Where he's back.
Oh.
He joined you extremely quick.
By mistake.
Doesn't matter. We've got LGS.
118.9.
On the options, I was expecting a bit more. I think LGS will be able to give us that extra little bit, so we're going to keep on board with him. He's going.
Emu is on the fast lap now in the option tyres, going through the chicane, coming on to the final corner now. He's at 1:15 though. He doesn't seem to be gaining much pace at his original time here. In fact, he's gone slower. Hey Robbo, connection problems. Hello. Oh, that's encouraging, viewers.
Hiya.
Hey there. Have you had any connection problems so far then?
Well, I've reset my router twice, and now, now I've been kicked out, but luckily I got back in time.
Ice cold handy, a 118.6 on the prime tyres.
Ooh, that's the pace we were expecting.
That's more like it. LGS will be frightful by that.
I'll leave you guys to it.
Alright, thanks, Robbo. Hopefully your connection holds up for the race, mate. Best of luck.
Well, Sean's saying on the stream he can beat that pole time on primes.
Oh, of course you can.
But I think that was before Andy did his main time, and LGS hasn't improved.
Confused Emu's actually gone off at the end of Sector 2. Completely got the braking wrong there.
And so is Too Much Elite. Everyone's going off. They're pushing too hard, but Sean Bean withdraws his last comment and he says...
I retract that statement. Jambo going out to turn 1. One of the McLaren's doing brilliantly well to stay in the pit lane there, to ensure he didn't compromise a lot. Good driving, whoever that was. As Jambo goes round to turn 3, he's stuck with the prime tyres. He's got to find, 9/10 of a second to be on par with his teammate. That's probably going to be pretty much mission impossible, but we'll see what happens. Goes through turn 4 quite beautifully into the downhill hairpin. Seems to be tracking off his pace a little bit to me. Got 29s going through there. I'm not quite sure that's quite right.
It's not bad, but it's not great, and that's not going to help either.
Oh, that's the 4 corner there, is it? Yeah, he completely got that wrong. And that looks like his qualifying's over.
He got too keen on the inside and just pushed him out wide on the second part of the chicane. And
sticking with him, he almost understeered off at the hairpin as well. Pretty scruffy lap this, and I don't think he's going to gain much pace, if any pace at all.
19.5 is a good lap, but
it is a good lap, but compared to his teammate, meanwhile Conor Rice has gone out for one final fling on the option tyres. He's really struggling for pace, but lower than a 119s on the option tyres.
He's not using DRS, and he's only going 160 miles an hour, so I don't think he's on the lap.
Well, he just crossed the lap time to me.
Lightning.
He made it just before the end of the section.
Keep on him. He's on a lap. Oh, not anymore. He isn't. He's just gone in the gravel.
Oh, right. So the old commentator's curse again there, Dan. Well, in the meantime, Conor Rice, yeah, he's definitely off the pace at the end of sector 1. He's not too far off, but he's far off enough to not improve from what I can see. Going towards turns 6 and 7, the uphill chicane. Oh, he's gone too far off the inside. If drivers do that in the race, they will get penalties, because you do gain an advantage if you can get it right. So you can almost take the car in a straight line. And that's not good driving, that. Coming towards the end of sector 2, it's still a very slow lap this. I'd say he's at least 3 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, he'll box.
Well, he's the last of the runners now, so we'll ride on board. Doesn't sound like he's going to complete the lap. 199, he's not going to improve here. Going into the chicane, we'll stick with him. Oh, and he's gone completely over, nearly spun the car. If he was going to set a lap, it's not worth it. So we'll give you the grid. Ice Cold Andy, a sensational 118.6 on the prime tyre. He's in the bound seats for the victory here. LGS is second on a 118.9 on the options. Emu third, 119.1 also on the option tyres. So Ice Cold Andy will have a smile wider than the Mersey Tunnel with that top 3.
Fantastic lap from Ice Cold Andy. I think that is the quickest lap I've seen this week. I know I've seen a few good ones, but that is right up there. Great lap from Andy.
Well, in the meantime, as you can see, the Force India drivers sucking in all the praise from the crowd, and why not? As I said, I have heard that a lot of people in the races will be doing a lot of tyre conservation, because that's the one thing about Spain. Being a high downforce, high-speed track, you are going to take a lot of the tyres. Even the hard compound will take a pounding here. So I won't be surprised if we see someone try to 3-stop this week, just to try and get around the degradation in pace.
I think everyone's going to 3-stop. The question is who's going to do a 4.
It's possible, definitely. I mean, we saw that in the real-life races. But again, someone may try and stretch out to a 2 if they're willing to go for a very, very long stint on the hards. But personally, I don't think that'll be a race-winning strategy.
No, it's just too slow. Judging from the practice I've been doing, you go in, you put a new set of tyres on, and you go 4 seconds quicker in just one lap. You can't afford to stay out too long.
Yeah. Exactly, and if someone goes for the undercut, it makes it even more difficult for the strategist to get it called right, to know exactly where you should be. I'd say keep your comments coming in, viewers, tell us your opinions, but for me, I'm not betting against Ice Cold Andy this week with that pole lap. I'm really not betting against him.
Well, I said pre-show, Cornish did say Ice Cold Andy, I said, well, he is the obvious favourite, I think. But LGS for me is a possible dark horse, and Robbo's lost connection.
Robbo has been kicked from the race, apparently. We definitely didn't say that for him, so it's nothing to do with us. They're not a steward's decision, that one. But I'd say we've got 0% chance of rain here, so we're going to have a proper race, balls to the wall, guys pushing as hard as possible, and I'm sure you're all going to absolutely enjoy it as much as you can. Get your comments in on the stream. We'll try and get through them all as well. But in the meantime, let's go to the track.
Well, I know I've got to get out of the way for Smithy, but yeah, what a shame for Robbo, who's third in the championship, 4 points behind Andy. And with Andy being pole, he could have done with just being there today.
Definitely, he could have done with being at the right position just to get there. But as I say, all we can do now is find out how it all unfolds on the track. Smitherlad, of course, has one advantage here. He is going to have fresh tyres, so he's not going to have that issue. He's going to be able to possibly go long and maybe get an extra lap out the tyres early on. It's a question of how that first corner chaos unfolds. As many people who've raced this track will tell you, that first corner is very narrow on the racing line. Heavy fuel, low grip, anything could happen.
The Chinese race winner, Robbo, saying he's got no luck tonight.
I agree with that, Robbo. We're very sorry to see you sat on the sidelines here. Massive commiserations. So here we go on the grid just before the start of the F1 main event, round 4 of the Excite Racing League here at Catalonia, Spain. The many favourites you could possibly pick for with regards to who's going to be the victor here, but personally, you can't bet against Ice Cold Andy. We are waiting for the 5 lights to go out.
You're going to have to get out of the way.
Indeed, once those 5 lights go, we will be racing now.
And he gets a good start. A very good start, even. He's clear.
A very good start indeed, but behind them we've got XRL LGS under massive pressure, confused Emu. One of the Sabres coming at the inside, big contact there. And LGS has spun, collecting a confused Emu. Emu is round and down in 11th position. F19 is also off. Damaged on the front wing, carnage at the first corner there, and in 9th place, XRL2 was too elite. He may well have been the car that dived up the inside there and possibly caused that accident. A lot of cars called. Smitty was winning in 8th place, as an XRL Lightning on the outside of Lewis Hamilton, and the Red Bull has been squeezed wide, and as a result of that, Jumbo takes the place to 7th. Smitty was looking at the inside towards turn 6 and turn 7, up the hill chicane. XRL Lightning trying to get back at Jumbo, but Smitty was all over the back of him on the option tyres as Jumbo and XRL Lightning go all 4 tyres off on the inside, down towards the end of sector 2 hairpin. And coming ahead of them, Lewis Hamilton's gone wide, so is XRL Lightning. Smitty goes up into 7th place. Jumbo filters into 6th, but goes wide at turn 12, and those are it's all going off here on the first lap. It was absolute carnage.
Not pleasing to see from the first lap, that's for sure.
Smitty getting better drive off the final chicane there from Jumbo. Jumbo goes all 4 wheels off on the inside of the final corner, getting junk on the tyres. Smitty's got the slipstream active. He's looking to try and get that move on. Going on to the outside here, he's got the better drag. He's on the option tyres, but these guys are side by side into the corner. Jumbo trying to hold the high ground on the outside, but goes off the track. And Smitty filters into 6th place. Up ahead of them in the Ferrari, Connorized is all over the back of XRL LGS. Going into turn 4, Connorized having to get out of the gas, caught out there, as LGS's first laps have not been very promising.
The only positive is that no one's had to actually go in the pits for a wing change.
It is, but a confused Emu at F19. How infuriating for them, because they got off the line and it looked like they got sideswiped to me. But again, my feed was going between cars, so...
I had a great view of it. I know XRL Too Much Elite got a little bit deep into turn 1. That's why Emu went off, but I'd have to have a look again for the rest.
Oh, meanwhile, there's been contact between Connorized and the Red Bull. I think that that's Lewis Hamilton.
It is.
But luckily, Connorized got away with that. He didn't get taken out. And as a result of that, look at this. Smitty was all over the inside of XRL Lewis Hamilton. Trying to get through turn 14, there's no way through there, and there's a 4-car train here. We've got Smitty on his 6th place, looking at the inside, and XRL Line is trying to follow him on a hard compound, and he's being chased by Jumbo. All 4 cars filtering down the bush there. We've also got Connorized in that. It's a replay of Malaysia all over again. As XRL Lightning goes around, Connorized on the outside as Jumbo dives on the inside of XRL Lightning, but just about gets away with it. Hamilton in 5th place now, and Smitty is all over the back of Connorized going through turn 3. The guys touch wheels on the inside as Connorized sideswipes a little bit there. No damage to the cars though. Smitty looking for the undercut around turn 4, but he's just not got the pace to make it through there.
I think it's best not to mention there's a massive fight for the minor places as well.
Right at the back here, I can see that on the radar, but I'm going to stick with these guys. They are closest on the track at the moment. Smitty certainly seems to be enjoying these option tyres, and he's really pushing that car. Going on the inside down turn number 8. Connorized just too wide. DRS flap open on both cars. As we lose 2 was too elite. He's lost connection.
He quit.
Okay, well, fair enough. According to our head steward, they quit, but whatever you say. Meanwhile, Smitty, he's under massive pressure now. XRL Lightning, as he gets a bit and too much gas on the curb there, which throws him off towards the chicane. XRL Lightning a little too far back at this point, but they both clatter the inside curves of the chicane there. Get poor drive, but Connorized has really not got away from them here. DRS flaps are going to be open now. Both guys chasing after Connorized, but he seems to have the same advantage. Smittyland, though, is not giving up. He's trying to go. Smittyland goes to the outside as Conrad goes defensive. He's too far back for a damn dare move and filters into 6th place. Behind them, though, there's been a bit of a scrap as Lightning goes nearly into the very back of Smittyland's McLaren. As Smittyland and XRL Lightning go all 4 wheels off on the inside. They're absolutely pushing the maximum from these cars here.
Well, do you want an easier start for Ice Cold Andy? Look at the gap he's pulled out.
It looks like it's a huge gap from what I can see here. I did say you can't bet against him. Meanwhile, Smittyland thinking about the inside of turn 6 of the chicane. That was the mental idea. He didn't quite make it up, but he's got better line for him.
DRS.
He's right up behind Conrad. DRS flap open, goes to the outside. Can he make this stick? Can he do a wall of death around the outside? He can. Superb move.
Lightning had to think about it as well under the braking, but he's just stuck behind Connor.
Look at Conrad, he's all over the back of Smitty. These guys are literally yo-yoing around. This, again, I said it last week in GP2, but this is a touring car race all over again. These guys are not driving multi-million-dollar machines here, it would seem. Oh, let me know, Conrad's pulling wheelers on my screen. His connection's going a bit dicky.
Connor seems fine on mine at the moment.
Oh, maybe my connection's going dicky then. In the meantime, Conrad's trying to go to the inside of Smittyland, but he's too far back in this DRS zone. But we've seen these guys using this to get closer. XRL Lightning gets better drive off turn 2 though, and starts to get right behind Conrad, putting the pressure on here. In towards turn 4, he's probably a bit too far back. He tries to go and there's been contact. Conrad goes wide, Lightning will have to cede that place. He cannot take over, he's wisely let him through there. Thinking about a wall of definitely around the outside of turn 5, trying to go for the cutback. But Conrad just hangs on, gets a little bit of wheel spin on the outside of the corner though, down towards turn 6. And he's just too far behind to make an opportunist move.
Jambo's not far away.
No, he's not. And meanwhile, look at XRL Lightning, miles better drive for turn 8. There goes the DRS flop, he's gone to the inside. Can he make this move stick? It's a tricky line, this. Bit of a contact there, and Conrad thinks about going up the inside of the switchback, but XRL Lightning has made that move stick.
Emu and Nigel starting to get together and work to get some real good lap times in. They're not that far off Jambo now.
But in the meantime, Jambo's caught right to the back of Conrad. Conrad goes wide as chicane. Massive mistake, and Jambo sees an opportunity. Goes over the inside of the final corner. He's got curves. Will he have DRS? He will. And that means he's going to be able to pull away from Conrad, who has not got that utility. And well, that carnage comes to an end for now. Moving further up the field though, we've got a scrap going on for the top 2 positions here. As Danny Pearce gets on the back of the XRL LGS. Through turn 4, Danny Pearce is a little too far away, but he is on the prime tyres, whereas LGS is on the options. They could start to go off within the next 3 to 4 laps, and that may be his opportunity.
Right, so let's have a quick look at the lap times. Andy's done a 24.9, LGS done 25.2. Danny's done 25.5, 25.5 also for Lewis Houghton, 25.4 for Smithy, 25.9 for Lightning, 26.3 for Jambo, 26.5 for Connor, 25.2 and then 25.0 from Emu, and they're racing on race pace. They're right on the race pace, both of those two.
Well, in the meantime, Danny Pearce is getting a bit closer now towards the back of the SRL LGS as they go through turn 12. He's about half a second adrift here, so that's going to put him in the DRS zone. Getting into towards turn 13. Oh, and all 4 wheels up on the inside there. Danny Pearce nearly spun the car, but at the same time, he managed to keep it back through the chicane. LGS takes a little too much curve on the outside. Danny Pearce has saved quite a lot of curves, possibly too much curves here, actually. Indeed, he used just a little less than his maximum. But the DRS flap is open, and he's got massive overspeed. Look at the difference there. Going on the outside, LGS gets defenses to the inside, a little bit of contact between the pair of them. LGS a bit naughty there, probably didn't give him just enough room. Going through turn 3, Danny Pearce singing a wall of death around the outside. This is brave. Can he make it stick through turn 4? This is going to be a momental pass if he can make it work. And he's made it stick. Super, he's going to be too wide in turn 4. Is LGS going to be able to fight him back down towards turn 5? No, he can't. He's just dropped off.
Those option tyres are starting to go.
We'll certainly see that way as now LGS under massive pressure. Lewis Hamilton looking at the inside towards turn 6. They touch wheels. And LGS goes off as a result of that. Smitty goes through.
LGS could have given a little bit more space to Lewis Hamilton there.
Definitely. I do think there was a bit of contact there. It will need to certainly be reviewed. But in the meantime, Smitty had his tyres looking a bit bald. And look at the bunching of the field down. From second place down. It's literally the top second to seventh are all covered by maybe 5 seconds. This is very, very close. Now, meanwhile, Smitty's dropped a bit too far away from Lewis Hamilton, but he's under pressure from his teammates. Meanwhile, this big move there, LGS, Hamilton was able to just blast past second place Danny Pierce.
Danny Pierce went on the grass for some reason, as if his wheel or controller just slipped or something.
Well, that's brought Smitty right onto his back of his diffuser, and he's dragging his teammate LGS along with him.
Well, so, who's the guy in the pits? Who have we got? That is Connor. Very early for Connor.
Indeed, I think he's obviously wanting to get these option tyres out of the way as quick as possible. And meanwhile, moving back through the points, Jambo has been overtaken by F1 Nige, and he's under pressure now from a confused Emu, who's looking to try and get up the inside of the chicane. As Jambo takes too much curb, comes back into his path and touches wheels. Emu sees him though and gets out of the gas, but loses at least 2 seconds there. And F1 Nige now is caught to the back of XRL. Yeah, how's the amount of luck he's swinging here, but all these guys are just closing each other all the time. I gave that in distorted vision for you there, viewers, I think.
Yeah, it's all good now. We have Smitty in the pits.
Smitty dived into the box, yeah. Smitty dived in. LGS under massive pressure now. XRL winding, deflects the DRS flat. Surely that's going to be it, but no. I think he's fought back with curves now, LGS. Now, is he going to have enough to make this stick into turn 1? This is going to be brave. He's on the anchors, but he's gone too wide, gone off the track, and he's going through the chicane, but Lightning makes the move stick. He's been followed by Jambo. Is Confused Emu going to follow him through as well? This looks pretty close between the pair of them as we go back through the field between these guys.
Emu's got it easy. LGS is in the gravel.
LGS has gone off completely. His tyres must have literally dropped right off the cliff.
LGS was going to go in the pits, and then he saw Smithy go in and went off the line of the pits and back onto the track.
He would have been better off getting stacked up with the lot of time he's lost. Sometimes it's better to take the hit immediately. Emu's right to the back of Jambo now, yes, I was about to get onto him. The RS flap is only just open, he caught that late there, so Jambo gets a bit of a breathing space from him. Oh, but he locks up going into the hairpin, Jambo, and Emu goes wide.
Yeah, it didn't really make much use of Jambo's error there.
No, he didn't. He didn't get on the gas really, did he? He didn't really manage to close the gap up.
Smithy's gone.
We've lost connection to Smithy, man. We've lost him. Another retirement. We're down to 9 runners. Let's see if I can find out what's happened with Smithy. I'm going to try and get him in here.
Just a connection thing. That's all it is.
People have been complaining that ever since Xbox One came out, there's been a lot of problems with this. And it certainly seems that way from what I've seen. Also, of course, there's been something I do want to talk about, actually. Something that was posted on the forum is that Codemaster's own web forum is offline, saying that their contractors ran out with their supplier. I don't believe it for a second.
How can they let a contract run out?
Exactly. Smitty, what happened?
I disconnected.
Oh, that's disaster. That's the last thing we wanted to see. I mean, you were looking pretty strong. You were really fighting from the back of the grid. Did you think you had the pace to possibly get towards the podium by the end of the stints?
Yeah, possibly, but like though, not much I could do about it. Just sit back, watch the light picture.
Oh, well, I mean, you've got 2 channels to choose from, so take your pick your poison, put your feet up and enjoy it, and hopefully next week in Monte Carlo you'll do better.
Hopefully.
Alright, thank you very much for your time.
Alright, bye.
But yeah, getting back to the conversation we were just having before Smitty came into the box there, Dan, I agree with you. When was the last time you ever heard of a company who's in the industry of published media deliberately letting a publicity tool come down.
Yeah, they get a lot of stick about their games, and fairly so, because...
Deservedly so, I agree.
And if they can't hack it, then they shouldn't be making the game. They should give it to someone else.
I completely agree. At the end of the day, if you can't do the job, hang up the keys.
Yeah, there are plenty of other people who can do it. Liverpool's F1 games are decent.
I'd love to see Turn 10, the guys who do Forza, do it.
Yeah. I don't think they would, because they're probably...
No, because they've got too much money invested in Le Mans. But I'd love a company like that, you know, someone who's really got the production edge, who really understands the simulator side of it, because that's the thing the Codemasters have come under fire about, is poor simulation.
It's very difficult to sort of make a game that's for people, hardcore racing drivers like us, and then like the everyday person who wants to go online. But the thing I have to realise is that F1 is a game about, well, not the game, F1 is a sport that's all about technical sort of advancements in motorsport. It's not like...
That's right.
If you're just an everyday driver who wants to go, doesn't mind about getting hit off and things like that, go buy like NASCAR or stock car racing games or anything like that. F1's a specific sport, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, as I say, the thing about Codemasters, it's like when they made that F1 Race Stars game. What a mistake that was.
I wonder how much it actually made on that.
Probably nothing. In the meantime, viewers, what's your opinion on it all? Have you got any points that you want to tell us? Get in the comments box on either Channel 2 or Channel 1, and we'll try and get through them as the race goes on. We do have a bit of a spread out in the field now that a few of the guys have boxed, so this will be an opportune time for you all to get your opinions heard and see what everyone thinks of them.
Emu was making some good headway, but he just seems to be making errors. The tyres are starting to go off, and, well, he's just not making an impression on Jambo and Lightning now. And
you have to say that's a worry if they're going off after only 12 laps.
Yeah.
That is a worry if that's the case.
Sean doubts his abilities as a hardcore racer on our chat over here. He doesn't... I don't know if he's talking about me or himself. I'm assuming he's talking about himself, though, yeah?
Well, he's definitely talking about me because I'm retired. But it's like I say, it's all well and good making a game that can have mass appeal, but F1, as you say, is a niche sport.
Exactly.
So you've got to make it for the fans of the sport.
You could claim that they haven't done that.
I would definitely say that. As I say, it's like, going back to 2012. How many times have you seen F1 teams run low downforce at Monaco? Ice Cold Andy's been in the pits.
And he's come out behind Emu.
Which is interesting. Not going to get dicey, that, because he started on the prime tyres and did 12 laps. Think on that, 12 laps.
Did he really? What?
He started on the prime tyre. He did 12 laps on those prime tyres.
That's dreadful as Jambo takes up a lot of grass and Emu starting to close that gap. Crikey, 12 laps, he must have really killed
him. Do you know what, based off the maths, that's a 5-stop.
How many laps did he do qualifying on them?
Well, yeah, it's going to be at least a 4, if not a potential 5. I've just seen a message from Smitty. What does he want? He's actually sent me a message through my Xbox rather than on the stream.
Oh,
fair
right.
enough. He said to me that he thinks EA should do F1.
Yeah,
their career challenge game was a great game. Well, that's called Andy's got much better grip than the Emu's all over the back of him now. Coming into us turn 15 and 16, and Emu's getting very ragged, taking a lot of those curbs on the inside there, as Jambo dives into the box. And anyway, Emu's under massive pressure now, deploys the curves, Ice Cold Andy, but they both have DRS. Has Emu got the gearbox to pull away? Doesn't look like it. Ice Cold Andy pulls to the inside line, just getting towards the red line now, they get on the brakes, and they just avoid contact there. Very clean overtake from Andy.
Well, he's now been unleashed to have a go at not second place, Lightning. Don't know where he'll filter out and all of that. Who's in the lead?
Exactly.
Lewis Hamilton, who is doing well.
Yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, we do actually have a scrap further down the field. We've got a couple of guys moving around. Motorsport Nerds saying that Koto Masters designed this game for 8-year-olds to play. Ouch, that's harsh criticism. As Jambo gets all over the back of Connor Ice now, as he come out of the pits, going into turn 5, Jambo's got fresh rubber on, so he's going to have more grip, but they are going to be cold tyres. So if Connor Ice can get the hammer down, he might just be able to do enough to hold Jambo, but Jambo gets very fish sail happy, going through turn 6 and 7 there, as we go into turn 8, on towards the DRS zone. He will have DRS here, Jambo. There goes the flap, and he's deployed all his curves, massive overspeed difference. Goes to the inside line, but he's on the brakes. Oh, Connor Ice sees him and gives him plenty of room. Massive respect from Connor Ice and Jambo. They're side by side for 11 and 12. Little contact for 12. Both guys are still not giving up. In towards turn 3. Together, Jambo on the outside. They touch. Connor Ice puts his nose back in front into the chicane. They're still side by side. They've contacted, gone off the track, and Connor Ice just holds the high ground.
That was so annoying, I missed all of that. I was trying to frantically get there. I'm more
So
than that.
Jambo's deployed the DRS, Connor Ice moves to the defence, but he's just too late to react. And LGS has come out of the pits behind Connor Ice, wind him up for a potential pass, but has had to duck out of the move. Meanwhile, ahead of Jambo, we got the XRL Lightning in the Mercedes. It's all back on, battle has been joined again. Jambo coming in towards turn 4, getting up to the inside line, just holding back. He's not in a position to overtake just yet. Now you see, Codemasters, if you're watching the stream, make the game so we can do this more often. Into turn 6 and 7, and XRL Lightning goes off the track on the outside there, which will get junk on the tyres.
Jambo's run incredibly wide as well, and hasn't really made use of it. Connor's dropped off. And LGS, he was doing so well, and he's just, I don't know what's gone on with his race.
The wheels have fallen off the axle as XRL Lightning once again goes wide at that hairpin. You don't really get an advantage there because it triggers the auto brake, so you don't actually gain anything, but at the same time, it completely ruins your race strategy. And at the same time, Jambo's close right to the back of him. Oh, and they both clout the inside curves of that chicane. You need to pay more attention to the track guys, that will ruin your lap. And indeed, as a result, that Jambo's too far behind, he's not even got DRS. But Connor Ice is under threat from LGS and the McLaren. He's got DRS open now, LGS. Bit too far behind, possibly, and he just ducks out of the move into turn 1.
Well, we're just waiting for Lewis Hamilton and Emu both to pit in the Red Bull. I think
If them two
Nige as
stay
well.
out, carry on like that, they and Nige as well, they could be right back in the mix here, because it seems that everybody else is in the window for at least 4, if not 5 stops. As LGS goes wide at turn 4 and gets dust all over his tyres, pushing too much.
XRL Peachy, new guy to the league. He'll be racing in Classics this week. He's already changed his gamer tag. Good on you. Saying this is a great race. Well, apart from lap 1, it has been, yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, we've got a massive lag there.
Jambo's got 5-second lag.
Jambo's got 5-second lag. I just saw him appear in the middle of LGS's car. How annoying!
He's actually gone dead last now.
Well, meanwhile, up ahead, we actually have another scrap going on here.
This will be for the
We've
lead.
got
That's Andy.
F1 Nige in 5th place, and he's right behind Danny Pearson, the Sauber. Both are around the prize and Nige goes into the pits.
Lewis
And
Hamilton's
ahead of
just
him,
been
we've also got-
overtaken by Andy around the outside of turn 1.
And Emu's just been in the pits.
Yeah, good idea. Danny Pierce has already pitted, so it was the fresh tyres that did it for him. Lightning is in P4. Emu's come out in P7.
Oh no, LGS is using the inside pit lane there. Both guys contact. Connor Ice giving him 0 room. And now they both collided. Was that a lag issue or was that just overdriving?
I don't know, I think both of them were just side by side and side pod glitch has helped out no end.
Well, Emu's got better drive through turn 4 on the back of LGS now. He'll be breathing a sigh of relief. He was probably despairing at where he came out. And right now, he's right back in the hunt. Getting up towards turn 6 or 7, doing a good job.
So yeah, Emu's got good pace, so it's good to see him up here. Again, I'm with Sean on this. I'm quite surprised at the F1 pace because I know for a fact that 2 or 3 of us can lap quicker.
Oh, Emu's just clotted into the back of XRL on GS with the braking on DRS. He lets him back through, but Emu got far too hot on the brakes there, and that could have very easily resulted in a damaged wing and damaged diffuser. He has to be a lot more careful.
Runs wide. He needs a pit stop. No, he doesn't. He's just pitted, doesn't he?
He's only just come in, yeah, exactly. He doesn't need a pit stop. What he needs to do is get his act together.
Yeah.
I mean, well, now on the straight, he's got the DRS flap open. Is the overspeed going to be enough to close that gap down for a move to turn 1? Doesn't look like it, and he's topping out at 200, and he's just a few metres too short. Just so you're all aware, viewers, of course, this is not the only action from Excite Racing League this week. Tomorrow night, myself and George Masters will be bringing you GP2 coverage as Emu goes to the inside of turn 3 on XRL LGS on turn 4 now, looking to make the move stick. LGS goes too wide down towards turn 5, and Emu's got the move done, but LGS thinking about a lunge, not giving up easily, but just holds back.
Emu deserves a lot more from today's race after his first lap incident and getting into double point scoring positions. Now he's gone wide into the gravel.
He just went straight into the gravel, I agree there, and that's going to compromise his run down the high-speed DRS run, but LGS has not been able to capitalise. Even though he's got the flap open, he lost too much time. And actually, he's now under threat from Jambo, who's miraculously running in 7th place after the lag. I've just received another message from Smitty through my Xbox. This is going to get awkward for you people watching Channel 2, I do apologise. A few people apparently say LGS has been lagging in the race, according to Smitty. Well, again, we've seen that before, and it's hard to really know who's lagging and who isn't. As we saw last week's GP2 and with the 90s races, it's very difficult to call. It's all down to poor server management, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, I got another thing Code Masters are at fault for.
I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, if you're going to make a game designed for online play, make sure it works. I mean, anyone who's played FIFA 14, I haven't, but I've heard all the horror stories, like their servers keep crashing left, right and centre, apparently. And that's a major company like Electronic Arts. They've got billions of budget, probably. So they're all at it, and it's gaming companies all over not bothering to make sure things work before releasing the games. And in my opinion, it's totally unacceptable. Especially if you're on the Xbox One and paying 55 quid a game. I'd expect it to fucking work.
Well, Andy set the fastest lap of the race as we watch Emu go very wide there.
Jambo went wide as well, but at the same time, LGS made a mistake, so he's not been punished by Jambo, and he's actually close right up to the back of him again. As a result, Battle's going to join through the DRS zone, providing he can get this chicane right. Emu takes too much of the inside curve there, as does Jambo, and it just ruins the acceleration. Stay away from that inside curve.
Right, well, poll time, guys. I know Godzilla was asking. He did the poll was an 18.6 on the primes by Andy, 3/10 quicker than anyone else.
Right, Emu's just been just come out behind someone who's in the pits, one of the Mercedes drivers. No, it was his teammate Hamilton. They're side by side through turn 3. Emu's looking up the inside of turn 4. Can he make it stick on those warmer tyres? Yes, he can. He's been able to get some pace back here.
Lewis Hamilton's first stop, so he's gone 19 laps. I think that's further than anyone on those prime tyres.
That's on par for a potential 3-stop. As Jambo gets a better drive of turn 5 on the back of LGS, we've got 4 cars very close together. It's always breathless stuff here in the box, viewers. It never stops. DRS flap open from Jambo onto the back of XRL LGS, but the straight is just too short for him to capitalise. And he squirrels on the braking there, gets a lot of problems, but just about holds it together.
Sean is asking how to get onto the other stream. I'll put a link in the chat for you.
Meanwhile, Motorsport Nerd on XRL Channel 2, as you introduced that for me, thank you very much for the link there. And he says, bit controversial here, but I'd rather wait 2 years over one for a game for it to be released and need no patches. I'm in total agreement. Look how many people, how much time people wait for Mirror's Edge 2. As LGS comes under threat now from Jambo in the DRS zone, and Jambo goes to the inside of turn 1 and makes that move stick beautifully. The Jambo was spot nerd, I agree with you.
We've got a question
Take your time, make it work.
We've got a question on stream. From the race that we've seen so far, has anyone deserved the penalty?
In my opinion, I would say that Elite, with his lunge at turn 1, caused a bit of a chain reaction that unsettled the drivers. But other than, as I say, we're not seeing all the footage, so I want to avoid a kangaroo court here, but I did think that was a bit too ambitious.
I think LGS and Connor's little scrap a few laps ago might need to just be looked into as well, because Connor went spinning, but I don't know. Apart from that, there's been a few nudges, but the people who have done the nudge have made sure they give the place back or haven't made the overtake.
Exactly. So. It's like Emu on LGS. He pushed him off and waited. He didn't go anywhere near the back of him. So, yeah, unless there's hidden damage we can't see on the stream, I'm perfectly happy with that. Sean being tempted to get a job at Sky Sports F1. No thanks, I don't like Rupert Murdoch.
Lewis Hamilton, though, on a fresh set of tyres, he's just lost ground to Emu. Emu's actually driven away quite well.
It's interesting, actually, because, as I say, you've always seen this from Emu. He seems to have the pace when he needs it. I mean, Hamilton did fantastically well, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, like, that's at least, what, 4 seconds, maybe? Yeah, about 3 or 4 seconds between them there.
Be interesting to see what Lewis Hamilton's lap times are now, though, now that he's got those tyres up to heat.
Meanwhile, Adam Watson sent me a message through. What's he saying? How is the servers going? I'll tell you what, Adam, the servers are, we've lost 3 or 4 drivers, so not very well, it would seem.
Well, Smithy's lost connection, and Elite quit.
I'm Conor.
Speaking of the...
How's that for a commentator's curse? That's unbelievable.
Well, we need to get him in, just ask if that was a connection or...
I'll do that now. I'm going to try and get him in. And yes, computer, I know my split is usually high performance it too. Right, where's Connor Eyes? I want to speak to him. If I can get him in here. Yes, Sean, you can tell Adam about his grandma yourself if you really want to. Some comment on the second stream. I'm not going to go into it. Well, the field has now spread out, unfortunately. Now we'll be able to see if it's going to become a tyre management race. But look at this, F1 Nige down in 8th place. He's really not had the rub of the green this week, has he?
Connor Eyes couldn't be bothered.
Yes, Sean, I know I just mentioned it, but I didn't go into it any further. Don't try and trip me up. Cycling back through the field, trying to find the action here. Because, in fact, while we've got a bit of a lull, I'm just going to go down the fastest lap times. Ice Cold Andy on a 23.1, showing magnificent pace. Danny Pearce, second place in the Sauber, punching above his weight at 24.06. But Lightning's right on his heels at 24.05. That's pretty close. Then a 23.2 from Emu. He's liking this fresh pair of boots that he's got. And then we've got a 24.0 from Hamilton in 5th place. Jambo's doing well in sister of the Force India. He's on a 23.9. F1 Nige's now currently classified 7th on a 23.0. So he's got the pace. He's just been caught out by the first lap antics, really. LGS's pace has dropped off significantly. He's on a 124.3 as his fastest lap. And he's the last of the classified runners in 8th.
Quite surprised by LGS. He just hasn't... I thought he did really well today. And he just hasn't done it. LGS has now been overtaken by Nige. And Nige is flying. 23.0 is his fastest lap.
As I was just saying, he's obviously got the pace in that car. And if it wasn't for that first lap craziness, who knows where he'd be. But we've seen that before for Rio. We've seen it before in many races in the past. Unfortunately, first laps happen.
Confused Emu, though.
Oh, no.
Confused Emu.
Smitty lads just sent me...
Oh, sorry.
No, go on. Tell me. We'll talk about Emu first.
I was just saying, him and Nige were quite close to each other at the start, and look at the difference between both of them.
Exactly, that probably sums it up in one moment, doesn't it? It also shows how well Emu's done. I mean, he's starting to catch to the back of XRL Lightning very quickly. But going back to Smitty lad's message, he said that the servers are more buggy than Sonic 06. It's no use. Ugh, I hate that game. Ugh, brings me out in the hives any time I think about it. Sean B. meanwhile saying on the second stream here that there's good lap times by the Red Bulls with good tyre conservation. Definitely, these guys are really showing good pace, and the setup, they're certainly optimised for that car. If you get it right, you can find the sweet spot at Catalonia, but it is high speed and high tyre wear if you err just too much in the wrong direction. If you take a look at Amy's tyres, you are seeing the lines starting to form on the front tyres and on the rear.
Definitely.
But he started to catch lightning very, very quickly though. Look at that gap. That's really come down. And Hamilton, despite being initially dropped by Emu, has not fallen too far behind. That gap's maybe 5 seconds. But Emu's got wide at turn 4.
Well, I think you can say like LGS and Nige aren't exactly out of this race. Especially Nige, we know what sort of lap times he can pull.
And also, it is still very early. We've seen how many people have dropped out due to connection. We're down to 8 runners and riders, and Emu goes over the inside sleeping policeman at turn 7. Not a wise strategy. And he's got DRS now on XRL Lightning. Battle's going to be joined very shortly indeed.
So we have a driver in the pits, that's LGS, so he's out in open air now.
2 pit stops in 25 laps.
Oh.
That's definitely par for a 4-stop strategy.
Right, so we are going to get on board with a confused Emu who is about to make a move.
He just followed the back of XRL Lightning there. It took far too much of the inside curve. At the final chicane, DRS has been deployed now by Emu. He's on the attack here, getting right into the slipstream and pulling out towards Tiller. Defensive move by Lightning. He's gone over to the inside. Emu wants the wall of death around the outside, but magnificent braking by XRL Lightning to hold position. But Emu's not giving up the move. Thinking about a wall of death around the outside of turn 3. The guys touch wheels. Emu's tyres go off the track, but he's not yielding the place into turn 4. Can XRL Lightning hold the high ground? They touch wheels again. Emu gets dust on the tyres. Emu's not giving up though into turn 5. Can he make the move stick? He's just a bit too far behind. Looking at the inside, but Lightning getting a bit too argy-bargy there. He's got to be careful. If he does that too often, he will get a penalty. Over the DRS detection zone now. Emu's closer than he's been any time. Going on the inside of turn 8. The mistake from Lightning goes too far wide. There goes the DRS flap. Emu once again to the outside. Breaks early as he's seen the defensive move by Lightning. And the wheels touch again. Lightning's making that car wider than the semi-truck. Oh, it's called Andy's out! Oh, it's called Andy's out of the lead! Unbelievable, we've lost the fastest driver. We're down to 7 runners and riders. This is unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable, it's just absolutely useless, this game.
Emu now trying to make the bit hay while the sun shines here as he gets onto the DRS, goes onto the inside. Oh, Lightning goes very close to the outside wheels there. Emu retaliates, sells in the dummy, gets onto turn 1. Lightning's going to have defensive move on the inside, nudges the car slightly, but it's not enough to hold position. As a result of this, Hamilton's now caught right behind him. But magnificent Emu is now second, and Danny Pearce, shock of all shocks, is in the lead. Well, we'll try and get him in here, but I don't think he's going to be happy. And I can't blame him. He was dominating this place. Meanwhile, a question from Madam Watson wants to know why I'm shouting. Excuse me, I'm commentating high-risk action. Hiltz, if you think you can do a better job, I'll see you tomorrow night. Don't question my skills as a commentator, boy. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton getting all the way in the back of XRL Lightning now. Unbelievably close towards turn 13 to 14. And Emu's not broken away from these guys either. We could be, well, XRL Lightning, no, he spins, he gets too close to the inside curb. And as a result, Hamilton's now right behind him. There goes the curve, then he throws the DRS flap open. Lightning, is he going to make a side swipe move? No, Hamilton choreographed that magnificently. Lightning thinking of trying to get a toe here, but the DRS is going to be too much of an advantage.
Red Bull 1-2.
Looks like it, doesn't it? Exactly. Hamilton and Emu. And look at Emu, that first lap chaos. And look at him now, in the pound seats, pitted almost later than anybody, leading the Grand Prix. Do I got another message from Smitty lad? Hi Andy, well, what happened? I mean, you seem to really have the pace under control. You must be bitterly disappointed that this has happened.
Bahrain as well. At least unlike Bahrain, that was actually pretty quick, even though I couldn't even make it.
Were you surprised to have the pace advantage? Sorry, the Alstones, it's a track that's not one of your preferred favourites.
Yeah, it was actually. I was having. Do you remember Sebastian Vettel in Valencia last year, where he was dominating the race? Where,
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you want to egg Codemasters? Because I know Godzinho is thinking about it.
I probably need to get more security connection. I was really, really happy with the car. For the last 2 races, I've been really struggling with the brakes. As you probably remember in Bahrain, Switchbone, I was in some corners, I was really struggling.
Yeah, you seem to have low traction, but here you certainly seem to have it under control. So that magic lap in qualifying for the 1:18.6, that took my breath away.
I was pretty happy with that lap. Yeah, probably could have maybe gone 2 quicker, but yeah, no, it's getting cool. I don't know, I might have been able to do a 17 on the option. It's hard.
Well, meantime, we wish you best of luck for Monte Carlo, and hopefully the gremlins of the connection will go away.
4 points. I know it's nothing. Wow.
So there's still many races
Lewis
to go. Yeah,
Hamilton.
we've still got 14 rounds left.
No, but it should be on about 9.
I agree. Oh, well, thank you very much for your time, Andy, and I say commiserations, and hopefully we'll see you get a better performance out of it in Monaco next week. Well, meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton's got DRS on Emu, and Emu is not really bothering to fight here. Pretty much a team-assisted move there, I think, as he goes up the inside at turn 1 with absolute ease. And in the meantime, behind them, F1 Nice is now running P3. Where did that come from?
You can't really argue with that now. I think people have pitted, but yeah, can't really argue with that. He's going to get a decent result today from the connection, isn't he? It's just ridiculous. Why should people practice, like, put all the time in every week and practice, if Codemasters just, like, laugh at their face and make them lose connection?
It's ridiculous. I mean, look at Andy's performance as well. He was absolutely hand over fist, faster than absolutely anybody, and he deserved the maximum 25 points. I know I wasn't watching him on track, I was too busy covering the other action. That's not the point. If you're doing the job, you should get those points. He didn't deserve that today. And neither did Smitty lad. He was punching well above his weight to come from the back of the field. He's found himself getting pretty much 0 points. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid.
Adam asked me how many there were racing site. There was 12 altogether.
And now we're down to 7. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
It's not the driver's fault.
No, again, the drivers have turned up. They put the laps in. You could tell by the closeness and the pace between like 2nd and 7th how much it was going to be there. We saw the dueling on the opening laps. Many of you were saying that this was going to be a tyre conservation race. They really put it out there and really did the best to put some proper action on. And then we've been deprived of it because someone decided to pull the plug on the internet. It's absolutely farcical. I've been racing on Forza Motorsport 4 all day. I did not disconnect once. Cycling back through the field, P6 though. Jambo's now catching up to the back of XRL Lightning, who's obviously gone into the box. And now Jambo's now on the option tyres. He's done a 22-1, so he's definitely got the pace here. Question is, can he push on? Now, a question was asked before, which I never quite got a chance to get around to. Sean B was asking, while there's a difference in lap times of different cars, do you reckon there's a difference in tyre wear? Well, we saw in the last game that some of the teams had different performances. Like the Williams seemed better on higher fuel loads than the other cars, but then lost it in the final stint. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of the equal cars aren't quite equal in that respect. What's your opinion, Dan?
I think you're right. I think if there's, I don't know, if there's a difference in the performance, then yeah, there should be a performance in the tyre wear. There's got to be a reason why a car is quicker than the other.
Meanwhile, Jambo's got a DRS flap open now on XRL Lightning. He's got a big overspeed advantage, but I think he's just too far back to think about the move here. But he's going to be very, very much nailed to the back of his gearbox through sectors 1 and 2 in the hope of maybe getting a DRS run down towards turn 11 or possibly holding on for the next lap. Got better run for turn 3 though there, Jambo. Really getting close to the back now. Turn 4, both guys getting over the edge on the inside, pushing the track limits to the absolute maximum. Jambo's not letting Lightning get away from him. These guys are up for a duel here.
Sean's saying, I know it sounds extreme, but it's worth going. Is it worth going back to an earlier game? The service might be better.
Most sport nerd at the same time on my stream has put, is it worth going back to 2011? Lol. I really hope not. Please don't take us back to that game.
Get 2010.
Oh, don't be daft. Don't be stupid.
Why? That's probably the best F1 game out of the lot. In terms of less bugs and stuff.
Oh, well, that's crackers. I can't believe we're even entertaining this discussion. What's your opinion, viewers? Come on, jump in. We might as well get your word on it. We've been doing it all night so far. Meanwhile, Jambo's under threat now. He's got XRL LGS coming back through the field at him. His fastest that's a 23.1. DRS flap is open on XRL LGS's car, and he's quite close to the back of Jambo here, and he's getting a massive speed boost difference down towards turn 1. Is he going to try a last little late breakers move? No, it's a bit too far behind. Well, people said that this race is one of the most boring of the season. If it wasn't for all the disconnections, I'd be having an absolute blast. We're only at half distance, would you believe? We're not even close to the end yet. LGS now getting close to the back of Jambo through turn 5 here. Gap of maybe 3 or 4 tenths between them. Really pushing the back of that car as hard as possible. I'll read that message in a moment. I've just been sent for Xbox Live. Meanwhile, LGS gets on the DRS flap open, down through sector 2 towards turn 10. Thinks about a move on the inside, but it's such a tight corner here. Not very easy to do. Both drivers pushing the curves on the inside and the outside there. Very poor for traction if you do that. Going through turn 12 now, the long, tedious corner, pushing the Astra as much as possible into 13, and then we've got this lap-breaking chicane. And both guys treating the curves with respect there. LGS taking a bit too much of the inside curve, unsettled the car a bit, but he's saved a lot of curves now to try and blast onto the back of Jambo. There goes the flap. He's got the open as quick as possible. Can he get close enough towards turn 1? Over 196, 98 towards 200 miles an hour. Oh, he's just too short behind. Jambo's gearbox just doing enough to hang on. What does Hills want to say to me? If you saw it on the stream, I'll read it out to you. There is a new Forza 4 league starting soon on XRL. See Hilton on Watson 99 if you're interested in joining. Cheeky bugger. There you go, there's your plug. Emu's made a mistake actually, he's just gone off at the hairpin at the end of sector 2. He's lost quite a lot of time on Hamilton, and as a result Danny Pearce is now right near him. In fact, Hamilton's opened quite a significant gap here. I'd say that's about 7 or 8 seconds.
He's looking pretty good. Yeah, he's got the tyre there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Tyre conservation between the Red Bulls is fantastic. As Danny Pearce gets the DRS flap open in P3, punching way above his weight. You can talk about reliability as much as you like, but to finish first you got to finish, and Danny Pearce is certainly doing that. Down towards turn 1, Emu makes a big mistake. goes off at turn 2, and look at the speed difference of Danny Pearce, looking to go on the outside for a turn 3, and that's a magnificent move, opportunist. Now Emu, can he stay close enough to take advantage of DRS through sector 2? Well, another message sent to me for Xbox Live. People obviously watching on the Twitch app rather than the online stream. You can now do that on Xbox Live.
Yeah, they sorted that out.
He said that if Forza 4 and F1 cars, he'd recommend we use that. Well, if wishes for fishes, the world will be an ocean.
I wonder when Codemasters are going to get their forum back, hey?
I don't think they're going to, especially if they're listening to this tonight. I don't think they're taking as much of a pasting online as much as this. Hi, Cody. How you doing? The field has started to spread out again now, unfortunately. Emu has dropped off Danny Pearce, and Jambo's dropped off the back of LGS, who's now managed to get through off camera. So, going to give you another rundown of the fastest laps while we've got a brief lull. Hamilton's done a 1:23.17, he's currently leading. Danny Pearce is now in second, actually, 1:22.9. Emu is third on a 23.2. We've got XRL Lightning on a 23.0 in fourth, then LGS on a 23.1 in fifth place. So if you look at that, there's only 0.3 difference between the top 5. That's fantastic. F19's is also the 23.0, so again, the top 6, all covered by literally 0.3 of a second. Then also we've got 22.1 from Jambo, blinding pace there when he got it on. Ice Cold Andy was the last one to retire on a 23.1. We've only got 7 runners and riders today. Being asked by XRL Peachy how much is there a gap between Hamilton and Danny Pearce in second place. From what I can see on gap, let's just take a look actually. He's just gone over the sector beam now. I'd say that's a good 4, maybe 5 seconds. Motorsport nerd, I'm going to shoulder arms on that question and let that one go to the wicketkeeper. I'm not playing that shot.
How many people are still in this race then? So we've got 7. So Robbo lost connection as well.
That's right, he did. Robbo lost connection, and so did many others. It's a farce, an absolute joke. I find it absolutely ridiculous that we're in this position. I mean, I have massive respect to the guys who stayed, and again, those of you like Smitty Lad who were racing and are watching the stream. LGS goes into the box. He says, I've done enough of those tyres, so F1 Knives gets an easy position. He now runs in P5, and also we've got someone else in the box. Who's that? We've got another car just leaving the pits now. Who is it?
Jambo? No.
No, it's not Jambo. He's behind. It's Emu.
Oh, Emu?
Emu's in the box. He's just come out now in 5th place behind F1 Nige.
Okay. Right.
I'm being asked why I'm shouldering arms on that question about Mike Marshmallow. I don't want to talk about it here and now. It's not the time. It's not the place. If you don't like it, oh well.
Oh well.
You do. Meanwhile, Danny Pearce is actually catching the back of Hamilton now. I wonder if Hamilton's going to box like his teammate did, because Emu only went last lap, so we might see Hamilton dive into the box here. That gap has definitely come down to about maybe 3 or 4 seconds now, rather than 4 or 5. No, Hamilton stayed out, and Danny Pearce on a 1:22.9 has got the pace, but he's just done, I think it's a 24. His tyres are obviously reaching the end of the life.
Yeah, same for both of these guys now. Let's continue to watch. They won't be going too much longer. Maybe another 3-4 laps and that's it.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to leave the stream on Jambo for now because I'm going to quickly go to the kitchen and get a drink. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Right, so whilst Swish is away and getting a drink, he probably needs it. He's been going crazy tonight.
I'm getting a stiff one.
Danny Pearce is doing a really good job, actually. Second place. We definitely wouldn't have expected that off the start. You have to feel for Andy, of course, and well, we've just been moaning about Codemasters all night, but let's go back a little bit further. And we've got XRL Lightning in P3, who's doing a good job for Mercedes with his teammate just behind. Now, his teammate should get past F1 Nige. Going right to the back though, we've got Emu in P5, P6 is LGS, and in 7th is Jambo, who's on a set of new options, so expect the lap time to tumble.
Peachy, I have to say my urine is more alcoholic than your suggestion. He recommended I get a Carling. No, I've actually gone for a Japanese beer. That's nice.
Well, I'm going to stick on board Jambo. This fight is looking good.
Now, Peachy, that's more like it. Yes, I would love an absinthe, but I've not got any in the house. That's much more like it. In fact, there's a question for you all, bit irresponsible while we're watching a driving thing. What's your favourite drink? So much for the action on road safety, eh? Come on, get him out while we've got the chance. Well, meanwhile, Jambo now is getting up to the back of XRL LGS, going through turns 1 and 2, and he's certainly closing the gap on that McLaren. These option tyres, they're actually holding up quite well. Look in the back of his car. I'm not seeing much in the way of lines on the tyres. So that's very promising.
Right, hold that thought. I'm going to go get a drink myself.
That's sure enough. Well, in the meantime then, viewers, of course, if you can watch my video footage on Channel 2 on the XRL Racing League website via Twitch. Of course, in the meantime now, Jambo is getting up to the back of XRL LGS, going through turns 7 and 6. Just got a poor line there, but going through the flat corner of turn 8, both drivers pushing the limit, but the DRS flap is now open on Jambo's car, so he's going to be pushing on, getting to the back of that McLaren as close as he dares, but he's just not close enough at this time, but he will be very much in the zone down towards turn 1. In the meantime, XRL Peachy says Scrumpy Jack, I'm guessing that's his favourite. Not a bad one, but when it comes to a cider, I prefer Thatcher's Perry myself. Anyway, going through turns 13 and 14, Sean Bean asking, will anyone do a 2-stop? I highly doubt it. I don't think the tyre wear is going to be good enough. You'd be really, really slow in the final stint, I wager there. DRS flap up for Jambo. He's got great overspeed on XRL. It's just McLaren. He's looking to put the inside. He's just a few metres short. But LGS makes a big mistake. Goes off at turn 1. And as a result, comes on at turn 2. Jambo takes the evasive. Goes to the inside there and goes through at turn 3. Magnificent. But meanwhile, up ahead, we've got another duel going on between P2 and P3, I think. Indeed we do. We've got XRL Lightning on the back of F1 Knights, the teammates of Mercedes, doing a great job here. Recovery drives from the pair of them. DRS flap over the XRL Lightning's car, getting down towards the turn 10 hairpin. Oh, bit of a wobble on the braking there from Lightning, but Knights also goes wide. So these guys really pushing the limits of their cars, both on the prime tyres, so they've got plenty of rubber to play with. And these guys will want to make them last. I would say until at least lap 50 if you're going to try and do an options to the end, maybe even longer if you're going to try a 3-stop. But I don't think it's going to be that. I reckon it's going to be a 4-stop for all drivers today. Cursed used by XRL Lightning off the final turn. DRS flap now open. Coming down towards turn 1, he's got the overspeed difference, but the gearbox of F1 Nigel's car is too strong, and he holds position into turn 1. Sean B saying that he thinks Nigel overtook Lightning. He possibly did. I wasn't following the action. Maybe Dan was. Ask him when he gets back.
Ask me what?
Did you see F1 Nige overtake XRL Lightning?
No, I was on board with Jambo, I'm afraid. That has all started to group up. P5 to 2.
F1 Nige just starts to pull away from XRL Lightning, and he goes over the inside of that chicane again, getting into the grass and getting dirt on his tyres. You really don't want to do that. So what have you gone for then?
I ain't got much in at the moment. I've just gone for a couple there, I'm afraid.
Copenberg's a good call, not wrong with that. Meanwhile, XRL LGS coming up to the back of Jambo. After that mistake caused Jambo to go through at turn 3, and Jambo's opened quite a gap on like LGS here actually. And LGS goes wide at turn 10 again. Everyone seems to be really struggling with the grip in that corner. It's a really annoying corner. It
what,
looks
the
really
right hander going up the hill?
No, the hairpin at the end of sector 2.
I got, yeah, I have been seeing the people go wide there tonight.
It looks really shallow on the map, but it isn't. It's a really tight hairpin, and I think it surprises people. Well, yeah, Jumbo's up, and a big gap here. There's no way that LGS is going to close that down. He's not even got DRS. But Danny Pearce is out in front by quite some distance now. And meanwhile, we've got a duel again between third and fourth. XRL Lightning under threat from Emu. He's gone around the inside of turn 4.
It looked like as if there was a slight nudge there, if I'm being honest.
It looked like that to me, but of course it's a little too late.
Same.
Meanwhile, Emu's got to try and get the hammer down now to get ahead of XRL Lightning while the going is good. We are into the final third of the race here. DRS flap open on XRL Lightning's car, but I think he's just too far adrift to be able to make this stick.
His fast steps are 23.0, and that's not bad, but put it in contrast to Emu, 21.9. Flying.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
He looks
Nige
like
is
flying on
matching
my
him.
screen now, just in a wheelie.
Nige is matching him, he's on 22 dead.
Danny Pearce is in the box. Danny Pearce has dived in, and he's not been followed by F1 Nige, so the battle is on.
I'm assuming all of them got one more stop to do.
Yeah, well, Lewis Hamilton's just gone past Danny Pearce as well. He's coming out, well, he's already on to 6th place. The question, though, he's down to 5th at the moment. Will Jambo get by? LGS is following him too. These are close. Danny Pearce is going to come out ahead of these guys by quite some distance. And LGS, while he's got DRS, he's not close enough to the back of Jambo.
Oh dear, my writing's not very good tonight.
That's Lewis Hamilton now getting onto the back of XRL Lightning for turn 5. Lewis Hamilton's getting really good pace here. A 1:22.0, almost matching his teammate for pace. How's that for closeness between guys? That's brilliant. And meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton getting into gas through turn 8, holding the downstairs. XRL Lightning goes a bit too wide. DRS flap open on Hamilton's car, but he's not close enough to make it stick. They'll lock up there from Lightning, and Hamilton watches as he goes wide. Hamilton's putting the pressure on here. Lewis Hamilton looking up for a move towards turn 13. Just not close enough there, so into 14.50. Can he make this stick here through there? He's not got the drag. And Lightning dives into the pits.
For the final time. Must be.
You'd expect so.
22, 23 laps on the primes.
That's definitely doable.
Oh, definitely.
Hamilton using the DRS
No,
to break
but
the
they're
gap.
putting
But Emu...
options. They're putting options on Lightning's car. 23
No,
laps.
Lightning's going for a forced stop there. Those options will not last a third race distance. No chance. But meanwhile, Emu is closing up to the back of F1 Nige. The old rivals from last season are getting ready to go to war once again.
And this is for the lead in 25 points, and both of these drivers desperately need it. They haven't had the best of starts to the season.
F1 Nige particularly was looking very strong, and last week should have won the race, but for that brain fade that cost him with the damage on the bollard. He'll want to avoid a mistake of that, because if he does that twice, that'll be 50 points lost in 2 races. He knows he can ill afford that if he wants to defend this title. XRL Peach is asking a question. How do you add photos into the chart?
I don't
You
know.
can. I've never heard of that before. But Emu's got magnificent drive off the final chicane. He's totally under the wing of F1 Nige here. He's looking to make a massive move. DRS flap open. He gradually pulls to the left. F1 Nige follows him, tracks him. But he's just blasted by Emu. Emu's gone completely past him. Can he make it stop to turn 1? He most certainly can. Emu is back in the lead of the race.
But where is Lewis Hamilton in all of this? He's
I've
in
got a
third.
message from Smithy Lad again. Rejected the race, Codemasters. Touche, my friend. I like that one. So we'll have F1 Nige now trying to stick to the back of Emu. Can he get the pace in this Mercedes to just be able to close the gap as Emu goes wide at turn 7?
That'll
That's
help.
not going to help his case here. And he goes wide at 8 as well. Nige gets the DRS flap open, but he's deployed all his curves. Into the turn 10 hairpin. Nige takes that pretty beautifully, actually. Gets on a very smooth entry into 11 and 12. 12 is that low, long, patient corner. It's turn 13.
If only they had the old track still. Oh, that's so much better around this old part. Just so quick.
It is indeed. Now, in F19's got poor eggs off the chicane. Emu's blasted away, obviously deployed some curves strategically there. Look at the difference. He's not even got DRS, Nige. That's the definition of catching someone napping. Despite F19's brilliant lap time on 1:22.0.
You can't believe that, can you? He nailed the last few corners when he needed to, and that's it.
I've always said that chicane can break your lap, and that is proof. LGS now, DRS swap open down towards turn 1 on the back of Jambo, trying to get past that Force India, but Jambo is being extremely stubborn as LGS goes wide there, nearly puts it completely in the gravel. That will spin your car if you're watching this in the lower divisions. Don't do that, you will pay the penalty.
Crazy.
And meanwhile, Jambo goes a little wide. And then LGS getting a good drive off the corner from turn 5 down to the 6-7 chicane. Oh, he's got a bit too wide on entry, but managed to catch it and correct it. That's good driving from LGS. And he's in a good position here through the corner. Oh, and Jambo was a little wide, there's a bit of dust in his tyres. LGS might be able to get closer here and use that down towards turn 1. Into the hairpin, it takes a wider entry, LGS, but very, very smooth. Very well driven there. Down through 11 and 12, but it looks like Jambo starts to struggle a bit. He's away from the apex there. Through 13, very slow corner into this tricky chicane. Jambo clattering the inside curb, and at the same time LGS giving him a wide berth, and he's got loads of curves, deploys it as early as he can, but due to a mistake in the final corner has not quite got the rhythm, but the DRS flap is open, down towards turn 1, he's hitting up towards 200 miles an hour, tops out, it's just too early. But Jambo looked like he was going to go wide, but caught the car, and as a result, LGS is behind him again, will catch him very, very quickly. It's turn 4 as Jambo once again misses the apex, so he's really starting to struggle in those car tyres, really finding it difficult on the options. But he has got time to box for one final prime run and really push him. Oh, he very nearly made a critical mistake there, Jambo. If you go too far wide on AstroTurf at 5, if you touch that gravel, you are going around. And LGS is in the pound seats now to take full advantage.
He's got all of his curves left, and he's got a DRS here. Surprisingly,
he should have used some curves there.
Yeah.
He should have used some because there's not enough space to use all of it off the final corner. As Jambo makes an error on entry, but so does LGS. He blows his audition there, and as a result, now XRL Lightning and the Mercedes is right behind him. Oh, good touring there from LGS, trying to avoid those curves. And Jambo's got into the box, but Lightning has not. Lightning's deployed the curves. This is a chance to get mugged here. Lightning's on the opposite tyres, though. He's got a better grip. DRS flap open. Oh, he's hit the back of LGS. What was that about? Going on to the outside of turn 1. Oh, they've contacted again. That was a very dirty move there. I really don't know what Lightning was thinking.
I don't really know what happened there. They were all going down the straight.
Went into the back of LGS.
Yeah, well, was that because LGS was moving direction?
No.
Just because he was
following?
following?
It was driving straight and true as far as I could see.
A bit odd down the middle of a straight, but nothing actually wrong with the overtake once it was done. It was just down the straight, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, that could have damaged the car, it could have unsettled him before the braking point. There's all these perspectives that are possible. Now, meanwhile, Emu has broken away from Nige, and Hamilton has caught right onto the back of F1 Nige now. F1 Nige is currently P2, on for 18 points, but he's got to make these tyres last. I don't think he's run the option tyres yet, so he's going to have to make these go to about 52, I reckon, before he can box safely for the option tyres. There goes the DRS flap from Hamilton. Oh, and Hamilton knew we're right into the back of F1 Nige. He had so much more confidence on the brakes, but has managed to get it stopped. Good driving, and he's starting to drift wide at turn 3 as F1 Nige is getting a bit erratic here. I think those tyres are starting to reach the point of the limit of the distance.
Lewis Hamilton has impressed me this season. He's just picked up this game so well, and look at the he's got great pace.
A 1:21.7.
He'll be
That
leading the
underlines
championship. He'll be leading the championship after today's race.
He's a bit fortunate because of what happened to Ice Cold Andy, but as I said before, you have to finish first, you have to finish. And that's what the goals for the championship standings, as well as being on the top step of the podium of the day. Meanwhile, Evie's made a mistake, gone off at turn 10. He's lost about a second, I reckon, there.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot closer between him and Nige. But Lewis Hamilton's all over the back now. Just needs to get a good last couple of corners and...
It's this chicane. It's absolutely critical you nail it. And Nige gets a little hop on the curb there, but Lewis Hamilton got better traction. This is a very good chance here. There goes the Kurz as he goes out of the final corner. Open goes the flat. Now, can F1 Nige defend with Kurz here? The overspeed looks pretty strong. Nige goes to the inside. Hamilton doesn't fall for it. Goes onto the outside and breaking, but F1 Nige holding the high ground. There's a bit of contact and Hamilton goes off.
Ooh.
Well, Hamilton won't be happy with that. He'll feel he wasn't given any room by F1 Nige there.
He was definitely ran out of road. But Nige was ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Nige was ahead though, so you're right. So should Hamilton have backed out of the move? One of those moves, but again, same time, not been any real net gain for Nige. Hamilton's right near the back of him again.
So no Kurz really. He's got the tiniest bit left.
That's the only problem. He's kind of compromised his lap there. But the DRS flap is open, so if he's intelligent here, he might be able to save the final bit as a little squirt just to get close enough. Look at how close he is on turn 10, but he's just not enough to affect the pass. And with the dirty air through these flowing corners, it feels absolutely horrible. But Nige has made a bit of a mistake there, driven it a bit wide as Hamilton looks up the inside, aborted, but that's going to put pressure on Nige. Into the chicane, both drivers getting close to the Kurz. But look at Hamilton there, right on the back of Nige. This is a fantastic opportunity. There goes this little bit of Kurz. Nige is probably defending with a little juice as well, but the DRS flap is open. And that gap has really come down. F1 Nige's defence to the inside once again. Lewis Hamilton thinking about the outside, gets on the brakes. F1 Nige makes a mistake when he takes the filtering line. Hamilton's learned his lesson and aborted the move when it wasn't safe.
Motorsport nerd, George, you need to get these tables done, or get I think B2 Ozone to do a table spread for Bahrain, because they need done. Sorry.
Well, meantime, Hamilton now is getting very close to turn 5. As Nigel's got a little wide, and Hamilton's got a drive here, but there's no real line through turn 6 and 7, so he's going to have to abort that. Once again, oh, he almost went to the back of Nige there. I think Nige is really struggling on these tyres now. There goes the DRS flap. Hamilton's used all his Kurz. He's desperate to affect the pass, but Nige is just being stubborn and obstinate and won't let him by. And Emu, meanwhile, look at the gap now to Emu. Well, Hamilton's got a drive of 12. This is a great chance. Up the inside at 13, you don't see this done very often. Into turn 14, can he make the move stick? Got to make sure it doesn't cross the curves. And he's just made it stick. Now the question is, has Nige got curves? No, he hasn't. So Nige will not be able to get close enough here unless he's got an excellent gearbox. There goes the flap of the DRS. Is he going to get close enough to make the move stick? Just a bit too far behind. And I think we're going to see Nige box very shortly.
Definitely, he's definitely helped his chances out against Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, Nige made a big mistake there. Got loads of fishtailing, loads of lost grip. And he did well to catch that. That just shows how much he's struggling.
Yeah. George, good stuff. I've got to make some changes to your table in terms of like drivers leaving or joining or stuff, so I'll have a look at it.
Unfortunately now the field has spread out a bit. But I'll give you a rundown of the fastest laps then. Confused Emu, a 1:21.267. That underlines his pace. Lewis Hamilton's second on a 1:21.7, knocking on the door of his teammate. F1 Nige, he's not too far off the pace, a 1:22.094. Danny Pierce, though, the forgotten man of the race, a 1:22.057. And then XRL Lightning, a 1:21.277 in 5th place. Jambo, a 1:21.328 in 6th. And XRL LGS in the final points paying position 7th on a 1:21.309. That's insanely close.
Just Key watching the stream. Well, he's only just tuned in. Where were you? You were watching the pre-show and then he just buggered off. Well, Andy lost connection after about, what, like 25 laps, 30 laps, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Something like 20 plus laps, yeah.
And he was in control of the race. We've also had Smithy disconnect from the game, as well as Robbo just before the race. Connor retired, as well as 2 actually, and that's why we've only got 7 people in the lobby, but they're delivering a decent race considering there's only 7 drivers out there. Emu's getting a bit of a lead, but you know, there has been action.
Smitty sent me a joke text before in Xbox Live saying driver of the day, Max Chilton. Interesting.
Yeah, Danny Pierce has done pretty good today.
He has actually, yeah. As I say, he's a bit of a forgotten man, really, because he was initially leading, but then the pit stop strategies have filtered him back into the midpoint.
Yeah,
but he's still done a very solid job.
I don't think it's going to be hard pushed to get a podium. Still going to be here on
XRL is just gone completely off the track at the DRS zone. Totally got that wrong.
All I'm hearing is Just Kids struggling for pace this week around Spain, which is just the news we all need to hear. And
you can watch that live tomorrow night on Channel 1. You'll have myself and George in the box giving coverage of that. Also, as we say, we do also have the other races coming up in the midweek too. Tuesday night we've got GP3, and then Wednesday we've got the double header of F4 and F5000. And now is an opportune time to tell you this, Dan, but unfortunately I'm out on Wednesday night, so I can't stream.
sorry, I'm just typing T.
Meanwhile, F1 Nigel's actually dived into the pits now. Obviously gone for his final stint. Lap 54, so he's only got 12 laps on those option tyres. His teammate is ahead of him, but he's going to have to box again. So quite wild strategy this from F1 Nige. Meanwhile, Jambo's on the prime. He might try and push to the end. F1 Nige is right behind him. So if F1 Nige gets held up here, this could scupper his chance of a podium. And he makes a big mistake at turn 5, goes off over the AstroTurf and hits the gravel. So big mistake from F1 Nige, feeling the pressure a bit here.
Oh, be quiet, Kate. Right. Thieves, a lot of people saying that they want you in F4. What would you say to that?
But who wants who in F4?
A lot of people want Mr. Deeds to go up to F4 because of his immense pace, which has to be said, he's been doing very well of late. He's starting to command the championship.
Alright, that's not a question for me to answer, so there you go, provide your answer now. Meanwhile, F1 Nige getting close to the back of Jambo, has got the DRS flap open going down towards turn 1. So he's definitely looking in the place. He's got to try and get by as quickly as possible. The last thing he wants is to get stuck in dirty air and have that dirty air totally chew those tyres. As anyone knows, dirty air can destroy your tyres on this game. Smitty Lads asked a question for you, Dan. Does he still get a point? It shows he's 10th in the standings of the race.
Yep.
I'd assume so.
Yep.
Oh, meanwhile, F1 Nige got better drive on turn 7. Look at the inside of turn 8, and he made it stick.
That's a top move.
And he's got the DRS to pull away. That was ultimate opportunism there. Jambo might be thinking about stealing one at the inside, but has just had to bail out of the move. Meanwhile, Emu has gone into the box, and I think at the same time, second place Danny Pierce may have done so as well. XRL Line is also boxed for his final stop. Ahead of him, Hamilton's in 3rd place. Emu's come out in 2nd. And Danny Pierce.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton's going to come out behind Nige. Nige's going to get in front. But it looks like Lewis Hamilton's... Oh, it's been close between him and Jambo.
They're just giving each other enough room there, but he got away with it. Jambo will be seething. That was an opportunity there. And Hamilton's drifting wide at turn 3. Can the Jambo put the pressure on to make a mistake on these cold tyres? Hamilton hugging the apex there, not willing to have any of it.
Now the
And
job will
Danny
be to
Pearce,
close on to Nige. I think he's going to get away from Jambo now.
more than likely, because he is on fresh tyres, and those tyres are options compared to Jambo's primes. The pace will definitely be with the likes of Hamilton and F1 Nige. And with Emu only just boxing as well, he's now going to close up to the back of Danny Pearce, who finds himself back in the lead. But is he going to find himself swamped? Emu's already looking at the back of him for turn 12, and he might be looking at the inside of turn 13 here, and he's made his stick unbelievable! Emu's back straight to the front, but he's got a smoking gearbox. Or at least it looked like he had one.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Danny Pearce has gone into the pits. F1 Nige filters back into second place. Lewis Hamilton's going to follow him. The question is, where's Danny Pearce going to come out? He's already down to P5.
It is quite tight between guys at the front.
Now he's down to P6. Danny Pearce goes from the lead all the way down to P6 after one pit stop. LGS and Jambo have both jumped him. XRL Peaches asked a pretty interesting question. How many people are using steering wheels? I don't know. How long's a piece of string? I've honestly no idea.
Half. Maybe slightly more controller people, but...
I thought you were giving an answer to the how long's a piece of string then, half and half. the best answer to that question, in case anyone ever asks it you, by the way, is twice as long as when you fold it in half.
That is a good answer.
Yes, I annoyed a philosophy teacher at that one time. Wasn't very impressed. So LGS now running in P5, coming up behind the Jambo who's running in P4, going through turn 12. And LGS seems to have a bit more confidence in the car than Jambo. Now the question is, will these guys try and hang on to the end, or will they box one last time? Because behind them, we've got the likes of, running in 6th place, got Danny Pearce, and then bookend in the points, XRL Lightning. Both are on fresh options, and there's not much between those cars, maybe 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's whether they can make that sort of 7-8 seconds up, isn't it, on these guys in the primes.
Well, that's the question now. I mean, XRL Lightning, riding on board with him, is about 1.5 seconds adrift of Danny Pearce and the Sauber, who's running in P6. He's done very well, actually, Danny Pearce today. He's drove very well, if understated. And XRL Lightning are 120.6.
That's not very good.
No, well, the one there. Well, to be fair, LGS are 120.4. And he's caught right out to the back of Jambo now, LGS. He's suddenly flying. Oh, but he's... okay, somehow LGS has just damaged his front wing. But he went nowhere near any bollard or any car. Am I seeing things, all you people watching on Channel 2, or did I really just see that?
What did you see? I'm on the wrong barrel.
Basically, LGS was driving down the pit straight, not the pit straight, the DRS straight in Sector 2.
Yeah.
And he suddenly started jerking, and the front left-hand plate of his car came off. But
Wow.
it was nowhere near Jambo, nowhere near the walls, nothing.
Oh, well, it does show mine. His left-hand plate's gone.
Right, there's another example of terrible coding then. How the hell did he damage his car? Seriously, this race has not been a good advert for Codemasters. It really hasn't.
No.
LGS trying to get as close to the back of Jambo as it can, but it's just not close enough.
They say continuously, all the time, you know, they're going to try all these new things to help league racing because, well, they're not.
I don't even think they're bothering. LGS has now almost gone off the track at turn 5. The lack of that front wing end plate and the damage to his tyres, I think he's going to be finding himself having to do an emergency pit stop here.
I think.
Well, if he does pit stop,
He's
going to
lost.
change wing. And it's going to ruin his chances of catching the time up, because there's only 7 laps to go. It might be worth trying to take the gamble and hang on.
Yeah, those guys in the options are going to come at them very quickly.
Definitely. Well, in the meantime now, Hamilton's all over the back of F1 Nige. He's closed that gap right down. And there's 7 laps to go here, game on. It's the question of who's going to be on that second step on the podium, providing Emu doesn't make a mistake. We have seen before, at the likes of Spa in last season, where Emu can crack under pressure and lose the win. Anything is possible. DRS flap open on Hamilton's car, but he's topped out too soon, and he's not going to get close to the back of Nige here. Going through turn 3 now, both drivers taking it very, very smoothly indeed. Gap to Emu now, it's about 8 seconds, so Emu's just got to take it easy. Maybe dial the fuel mix down to lean, protect the tyres, and then save it in case you come under threat at the end. He's got a great chance to control the pace, Emu. But in the meantime, Hamilton's pushing F1 Nige, going close to the AstroTurf and the gravel there, but the Mercedes driver just held it on the island. Going through turn 7, both drivers clipping the inside sleeping policeman, but not enough to throw the car off into the gravel. DRS flap now open. Hamilton trying to close down to F1 Nige, but he's just too far behind before the hairpin of turn 10, and that's the chance gone wasted. Can he get close enough towards turn 1? That's the big question here. Getting a bit dicey, going a bit wide at turn 12, dropping pace all the time on F1 Nige as a result. F1 Nige and Hamilton both clipping the inside curb of that chicane, both riding their luck but getting away with it. F1 Nige has deployed some curves there by the looks of things, opened the big gap, and despite the curves used by Hamilton trying to push on, DRS lap open as he closed the gap enough. No, just not close enough now. F1 Nige makes a big mistake out of turn 2, loses the back of the car almost. And Lewis Hamilton's closing up towards turn 4. Nige getting a bit squirrely now, getting a bit defensive. Goes on the inside line. Hamilton tries to wall the death around and go for a cutback. But the traction on that Mercedes is too strong.
Well, this is going to be a very interesting battle for the next 5.5 laps. I think Lewis Hamilton...
Behind them, with Jambo is under massive pressure now from LGS. He's closed that gap right back up.
LGS,
And despite a 120.4 on the prime tyre. That's an amazing lap.
I've been asked on what's my opinion on the classic cars and tracks. I always find the classic cars really enjoyable to race. I don't know about you, Swish.
I absolutely love racing the 80s cars. The 80s cars are fantastic fun. I just wish Codemasters had done more with it.
Yeah.
Like maybe allow 3 car teams, maybe you have a proper championship for classics, because that's so much fun. But Lewis Hamilton, sorry to end this conversation quickly, it's right up behind Nige now. DRS flap open. He's closer than he's been all race. Nige goes to the inside. Hamilton follows him on the grass there. 2 wheels on the grass. Contact again. Nige has spun out. Hamilton is waiting. He's not getting away. And Nige has gone back in front. Almost lost the car. We're back on the track there. Hamilton pushing just that bit too hard.
Yeah, but...
And I wouldn't be surprised Hamilton may have an in-game penalty.
I'm kind of blaming that on Nige as well. He didn't give him any room on that inside. So, you know, he can't do anything but brake late because he's on the grass.
It was a very sloppy move, but credit to Hamilton, weaving the place, not taking advantage. Nige under massive pressure now. Has he burned those options out already? Going through turn 8, onto the DRS straight, and there goes the flat from Hamilton. He's got no curves left, so he's got to do this the old-fashioned way. Oh, very nearly comes out to the back of Nige there. Last of the late breakers, and meanwhile behind them, Jambo and LGS getting massively close together as Danny Pearce has joined the back of the train.
Those options are all of a sudden getting some lightning just a little bit off, but...
Well, I'm sticking with Hamilton and Nige. This is the last of the podium positions, but Dan, you might want to get on board with the guys behind. DRS flap open from Hamilton, but the gap's too strong, so I'm going to move back myself.
LGS is going to make a move.
Yeah, he's going to the outside. This looks pretty solid for a lock here. Got onto the inside. Can Jambo make this stick onto the inside? No, he can't. He's had to cede the place. And look at the Danny Pearce now in the Sauber, all over the back of the gearbox. And he's gone off the track. Danny Pearce has completely gone off the race.
What happened there?
He just seems to run out of grip. He seems to understeer off. And as a result, but look at this. Jambo's really struggling through turn 4. And Danny Pearce is looking up the inside of turn 5. This is a very ambitious move, and he is through.
Well, he's got LGS, and that's going to be some solid points.
Well, Jambo's not giving up. And he's going to have DRS on Danny Pearce. But I expect that Danny Pearce is going to have it on LGS.
Crazy Fish is asking, why is Lewis Hamilton in the Red Bull? Well, because Lewis Hamilton and Emu haven't got a teammate and it's extremely difficult to find drivers for the F1 division, we've decided to put them together for now, or we will put them together for the rest of the season, and then if we do get any drivers, we'll put them together in the F1 division in the Caterham. So.
Well, Hamilton, meanwhile, now is all over the back of F1 Nice, and he's saved an absolute ton of his cars. Oh, what a mistake from Hamilton! Took too much to the inside corner, had to get out of the gas on this last corner as a result, and Nice has been able to scamper away. But he's got the DRS flap open. Can he go for a move? No, he's just too far back. Hamilton wasted a golden opportunity then. And interestingly, LGS is still pulling away from Danny Pearce, and Danny Pearce is under pressure from Jambo.
I think Danny might start to close that gap. Nutters are signing in. We're going to be doing a race afterwards, so...
Meanwhile, Hamilton now is all over the back of Nice, going through turn 7, into the flat turn 8. Both drivers hitting the apex beautifully, but the DRS flap open, and F1 Nice is only a few metres ahead. Going towards turn 10, a break on the outside. Has Hamilton got the room? No, he's got on the marbles. And all grip has fallen away, and F1 Nice is able to just pull ahead for now. In towards turn 13, F1 Nice just done really well to hold this off. We're into the last 3 laps here. Hamilton's got 3 laps to make it count, viewers. This is as classic as it gets. Emu's a mile ahead. He's pretty much certain to get the victory. But going across the line now, F1 Nice just pulls out that critical gap off the final corner. And Lewis Hamilton, despite the overspeed of DRS, it's just not able to close the gap. This is superb defensive driving from F1 Nice. Going around turn 3, Hamilton trying to get the better traction, trying to get as close to the back of that Mercedes as possible, just to find a way by. Emu is now a good 15 seconds in front. That just shows how much Nice has been holding up his teammate. And so he should. He's there on merit. Into 6 and 7. Both drivers clipping the inside apex of both corners. And Hamilton once again quite close, but he just seems to be pushing a bit too wide. F1 Nice, the straight is just too short to catch the back of him.
Yeah, that DRS zone's not long enough. There's nothing I can do about it, but...
And they always say it's an assisting aid, not an overtaking item. But I do agree with you, it's just not quite there. We're into the penultimate lap here. Confused Emu starting his last lap of glory. Now Hamilton, he's got one last chance really. If he doesn't make the stick, it's going to be very difficult to pass. As that Nice goes a bit wide. Has that created the difference maker? He's going to deploy his curves. He's pushing as hard as he dares here, Hamilton. The flap is open. The red mist is down in his eyes. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? No, he's not. He's just too far adrift. F1 Nice knows getting a bit squirrely on the exit of 2, and as a result, Hamilton getting very close to turn 3 now. He might be able to try and barge his way through here. Nice goes defensive to the inside. Hamilton rides the outside, and the natural widening angle of F1 Nice puts him under threat through turn 5. He takes the inside line. Lewis Hamilton thinks about trying to go around the outside. This is very brave from Hamilton. He's using the outside after turn, but F1 Nice just holds on. They're side by side through turn 6. Contact the wheels there as Hamilton nearly goes off the track. F1 Nice has just got the gas to hold on. DRS open now from Hamilton. This is his last chance. As Confused Emu goes around the final chicane, it's been a fantastic recovery drive from like 9th position. He takes the checkered flag and wins at Catalunya. But all eyes are on Hamilton and F1 Nice. Going through turn 13, has Hamilton got the legs in those tyres to take one final position into the chicane now? F1 Nice goes a little wide, but entry clips the curb. There's no curves from Hamilton. He's just going to run out of time. And F1 Nice is holding on for an equally magnificent recovery. Jambo now holds on his 6th and 7th place. To round the place, he's managed to hold off XRL lining. And that brings the race to an end.
Well, it's a good finish.
Let's get the podium in for our interview here.
Fastest lap in the end, set by Emu, 19.3. I can't even do that. In qualifying, I can't even get that.
We'll talk to you in a moment, Nigel. Just waiting for the winner. One moment.
Hey, mate.
Hey, Emu. Well, on the first lap, it looked like you'd really had a lot of your chances taken away from you. How does it feel to manage cover from that to take the checkered flag?
Yeah, at the start, I think someone must have tapped me in the back of me and spun me around. I ended up facing the wrong way. And then I rejoined just behind Nige because I know if he got get out as well.
And I mean, both of you seem to have ill fortune on the opening lap. So you did magnificently well. Your pace seemed to be absolutely extraordinary in the race. After what happened in qualifying, were you expecting to have that pace in hand?
I put a lap in at some time, and I banked a lap. Then I went on the options and I couldn't get a lap to go. I kept going off, blocking up.
So you did that, but at least you managed to be able to pull it back on the race. As I say, it's one of probably your first race this season. Do you expect a repeat of this when we're at Monaco next week?
No.
That's EMU's stuff off right there. Well, Nige, meanwhile, as Emu just touched on there, you seem to also get caught up in the first corner fracas. It seemed a bit hairy in there. How was it on board from you?
Well, I'd say pretty hairy as well. I mean, Elite, God knows what he was thinking, but he went screaming down the inside and went too wide, forced another two cars to sort of take a different line into turn 2, and I ended up being the loser and all that, going out wide and losing part of my wing to another car. So yeah, not the best of starts, but I just had to sort of knuckle down and try and get the best result.
I mean, one of the big factors, of course, was Ice Cold Andy dropping out. When you saw that message appear, did you think this is my chance to get right up the front and start to close in on the championship?
No, definitely not. Because I'm not thinking about Andy's race, I'm thinking about my own.
Fair enough. So, I mean, you certainly seemed to have the pace in hand when you needed it, though. And so there was a bit of close wheel-to-wheel action. In the final laps, you certainly seemed to be put under quite a lot of pressure there, but you were being as stubborn and obstinate as possible to make sure you held on to second place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to let people drive past. I'll be as hard but fair as possible. I think Hamilton will disagree with that, but that's going to be a different story altogether.
Well, thank you very much. Well, Hamilton, we'll move on to you. Again, I mean, you seem to get the better rub at the first corner, and you seem to have quite a lot of pace, but sometimes struggle to get past the cars. Did you have quite the wrong setup for the race, or were you expecting that kind of position?
Yeah. Well, I was struggling in the race, to be honest. I was a lot confident earlier when I do my practice run with Thrifty. I was a lot confident, and somehow I'm just not feeling it today.
Plus, I mean, it certainly seemed that the connection was a bit of a trouble for everybody. We did seem to see a lot of people going off. Did you, have issues where you were driving as drivers were or anything like that? Was it difficult to adjust to those sort of...
The only lagging is lightning, that's all.
Okay.
No,
I'd say, once again, I mean, as like with Emu, were you expecting to be so strong on the pace to fight for the podium and also be putting such pressure on Nige at the end to maybe go for the Red Bull 1-2?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, just trying so hard, and I'm kind of expecting every race to be like this, to be honest.
Well, we certainly would hope so here.
Yeah, stronger in the race than qualifying.
But we certainly hope the races are strong here, because today we did witness many people were concerned that it was going to be a tyre conservation snooze fest. It was anything but. There was action throughout the field. Thank you for all your comments here tonight. So, for all you people on the stream who've watched either on Channel 2 with me or on Channel 1 with Dan, Neil say we are back tomorrow night. You'll have myself and George in the box. We'll be doing the GP2 coverage. On Tuesday night, you've got the GP3 race. Then Wednesday, the double header of F4 and F5000 before the classic races on the Thursday night. But Sunday night next week is the start of round 6.